Mike Kariuki, a retired Army officer, husband to this wonderful lady sitting next to me, Catherine. And my day job is I'm a security professional. That's what I do for a living.
My name is Catherine Kariuki. I'm a teacher by day and a wife to this lovely man sitting next to me. We have been together for 10 years, since 2008. My memory serves me right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, we met in a social setup, quite unplanned. I remember it was one of those odd Friday evenings. I was tired from work and I decided to pass, through watch a bit of soccer, bit of entertainment, and then go home. And then a friend of mine shows up in the company of his friends, and one of the friends then happened to be Kathy. When we first met, I remember the thing that stood out about Kathy was her smile. Yeah, she had this very genuine smile, seemed to come from the heart, and to me, that was profound for me. And then, as we got chatting, somehow it was very easy to get conversation going. It was natural. We seemed to share our ways of thinking and view of life and so on. So I think that's really what stood out for me.
He gave me his card, which I will honestly say I lost. But then I gave him my number, which he saved to his phone. Yeah. So he had my number, but I didn't have his number.
For me, it was a thing of this is an interesting person. I'd like to get to know her more, whatever it leads to. So my intention was just to get to know her more. And so when I reached out, I called her a couple of times. I think over
a month.
Just kept calling and she wouldn't respond. Wow. Then eventually, okay, I'm that kind of a guy. I don't give up easily. I'm relentless. I'm determined. I push. Even in normal life, that's who I am. I guess the military taught me well. So eventually I dropped an SMS and said, so and so, I'm the guy you met this and this day. If you don't mind, just call back. And I left it there.
So as he was calling, I didn't know who he was. So I didn't respond. And then eventually when I saw the message and he said, oh, it's the guy you met. Then it clicked, oh, the military guy. So then I was like, oh, that's so bad. So then I let him and told me, okay, fine, we can have a date, we can have a drink. Yes, so that's how it started.
When she responded, I was like, okay, I asked out. Sadly, I actually showed up late on that first date.
1.5 hours late.
However, put that into perspective, I did send her an SMS.
Yes, she did. He kept on updating me at work.
Yeah. And things were just happening. So I was like, I'm on my way. I'm afraid I'm late, but feel free, make yourself comfortable. Anyway, eventually I got there. And I remember we got into that mode. We just connected. We were there the whole evening. We were chatting and talking, and we were the last customers. Actually, I remember the waiter coming and very politely, the way they come and they're like, last drink. Yeah. Like hinting, guys, get out of here.
So we need to close up.
Yeah, but we had a really good time.
My first impression when I met him, I'd say he looked calm, mature, composed. He was easy to talk to. We got talking and he talked for many, many hours. And when I left, I didn't read much into it. I went back to my normal life. Yeah.
So after Kathy, had a chat with her mom and explained to her that she was in this thing, this relationship in a serious way. And of course, her mom was very curious to find out more about me. And so she asked to meet me, and to meet me in the absence of Kathy. So I had no problem. I said, it's fine. And so we met, and for a good almost 3 hours actually, having very, very honest conversation. I guess for her, just like any mother, she wanted to understand, who is this guy? Where is he coming from? What are his intentions? Is he serious? What type of a guy is he? Is he just gonna play around with my daughter and then walk away? you know, and also to understand a bit more about my background, you know, and the children and everything, which is basically what we discussed. Had a long chat, open chat, and in the end, just looking at her body language, I could tell she went home a different person from the person who came, who was rather hostile and very deeply concerned. Yeah.
I was very nervous and tense on that day. I felt like 3 hours was quite long. It seemed like a whole day. I was wondering what my mom was doing with Mike for 3 hours, you know. But when she came home, I was actually very afraid to go home that day. But eventually I went home. She seemed a bit more relaxed, and I remember her words were, I met with your boyfriend, and I just hope that you will be careful, and that you go slowly, you know, no rush. And from then on, it took time for her to accept and adjust and accept that this is what I want for myself. I want to marry Mike and raise the kids together. But now they're best of friends, actually. My mom calls him more than she does me, so yeah, they're best of friends.
Well, I guess just like every gentleman would, you know, on one knee, and you know, did the honorable thing.
Yeah.
I mean, took her out, and then you know,
in Mombasa.
yeah, in Mombasa. It was basically what we did. We took a couple that were pretty close to us. She didn't know, so it was, I worked it out like a holiday. So we went out there, and I remember we were having dinner, candlelit dinner next to, you know, the sea there, in very romantic sort of setting. But you know, but she thought it was all about a holiday and everything else. And the next thing, I popped the question, and the ring came out, and she's like, "Whoa," you know.
Planning the wedding, I'll say, was all me. Like we said it. He just popped the question, was like, hey, we're getting married. We agreed on the venue, which was the most important thing. We agreed on the date. From then on, I carried on with it, you know. His work was just to sign the checks, yeah, and appear on that day. I guess I'll say he was very calm. I guess maybe because he's done it before. And he knew that real marriage starts when you live together. It's not that day. But obviously, me being young, I was excited. Plus, I was pregnant. So it was quite taxing, but also I'm a person who makes quick decisions. So I made, you know, I'd go somewhere and agree on something, that was it. And he was an easy guy. We say, you're wearing the color, he was like, okay, I'm game. So we didn't fight about it, didn't argue about it, and the day happened and we moved along. I remember I got married, and 1 month later we gave birth to Sean. I'll be very honest, I did not have a formula. I didn't have anyone to talk to. I didn't know of any stepmother who has done it, who I could go and talk to and get advice from. So I'll say we just worked it out together. We are very good friends, so we were able to work it out together. I can't lie that there were not hard days, and there are still not hard days sometimes, because it's not easy to blend. It's like he already had a family, and now we're coming from another one, okay? It cannot work the way it used to work. So we have to form our own family now and make it work for all of us. So it took a lot of love and patience. And if we were not best of friends, if we did not have that kind of relationship, I don't think we would have made it.
Well, I think what is important is to be realistic about the whole situation. The fact is, my ex will always be the biological mother to the kids that we had together. And that's a role. That's as far as it goes, because for the two of us, it's over, and really we have no conversations that pertain to the two of us. For currently now, my wife is Kathy, and therefore, for me, it's just to be able to get the balance right. Reassure Kathy and let her know and show her that indeed she is my wife. She's the one who is in charge as a wife, as a woman of the home, and as a mother also to these kids. Because again, I think there's a big misconception about parenting and fatherhood and motherhood. People tend to equate it to that biological process. You know, that you fathered this kid or you pushed this kid, carried them for the 9 months. That's really the easy part. The complex part, the difficult part, the real part of parenting is the day-to-day upbringing. And therefore, for me, I'm always conscious of that, and I make sure that the boundaries are very clear, so that there is not a day where Kathy goes into a space where she begins to doubt herself, either as my wife or as a mother, etc. So for me, I think it's just making that clear distinction. And at the same time also, working with the kids, because now there are three parties involved here. There is Mike, who is the head, who is the father, the husband, the guy who is in charge. But then you also have the kids, who are a pertinent part of this triangle. You know, they're here and they are real, and they have a biological mother somewhere and they know her. But they also have a new mother who is looking after them every day. And then you have Kathy, who is now the mother, the wife, and really looking after everybody. So it's a question of ensuring that all those three parties, you have an honest conversation with them, and get them to understand what their role is. Yeah. When I met Kathy, I told her, I have these children. I'll never be complete without them. So I'm welcoming you into my life, but please understand that as you come into my life, you're also coming into their life, because they are an inseparable part of me. And then I turn the other way and tell the kids, look, you know, I have divorced from your mother. We are no longer together. I'm also human. I also need to have a life. I'm still living. I'm not dead. You know, I need to have a life, and I have chosen to get married. And Kathy is my choice. She's my wife. Okay, my choice, my wife. But because you're my kids, that makes her your mother. And if nothing else, you owe her respect. Yeah. The same way you respect me, you'd also have to respect my decisions and respect her. And so I made sure all the parties were very clear about our roles and where we all sit, and the logic behind it, and how we need to move forward as a family unit. And I guess that did it. And then, of course, now walking that talk, making sure that the kids, we listen to them, we talk with them, we engage them where they feel their concerns, where if they're not happy, if there are issues, we give them space to raise that and discuss and talk. I also learned to listen to Kathy and her perspective, which is also different from that of the kids. And also, I also learned to speak, because I'm one of those guys who I can be introverted very easily, you know. But I learned to now come out and also talk. If I needed Kathy to know something, tell her, hey, baby, listen, X, Y, Z. And if it's the kids, hey, you guys listen, A, B, and C, you know. And that communication actually really helped to blend and bring everything together. Yeah. And I think today they are best of friends. They are best of friends with Kathy.
In the beginning, you have to understand that when I came into the picture, they'd call me Auntie Kathy. Yeah? Out of respect, they wouldn't call me Kathy, but they'd call me Auntie Kathy. And then over time they realized, oh, so I'm Dad's girlfriend. Then over time I'm like, okay, she's going to stay, she's getting married to Dad, so she's going to be my stepmom. And they were torn. Do I call her Auntie Kathy? Do I call her Mom? So what I did, we had a meeting with them because I knew it was going to come up. So I told them, guys, you call me whatever you're comfortable with. See, it doesn't change the fact that I'm still who I am. So I told them, guys, no pressure, which was not what the dad wanted. But I told the dad, go easy on this one. Because I sort of, maybe because I was younger, I could put myself in their shoes. Just wake up one morning and my dad and mom are not together, and there's a new, it was hard for them. So I told them, you guys call me Auntie Kathy until you're ready. And so we left it there. And so they called me Auntie Kathy. We were easy with that for a few years. And just assuring them that, you know, I've come here to play your part as your stepmom. I'm not coming to replace your mother. No, she's there and she will always be your mother. I'm just coming here to be your dad's wife. And by proxy, I'm your stepmom, and I have to do the right thing, which is to take care of you. Yeah. So eventually after a few years, all of a sudden it was Mom. I guess, I don't know, I earned it. I don't know, over time they realized, oh, wow, she really cares about us she does really care about us truly and honestly. And they could see that, you know, I guess I play the role of their mom because I live with them 24/7. So eventually one day it was Mom, and that's where we are. So I'm Mom Kathy, and their mom is their mom. I can say that the 18-year age gap created a challenge in terms of, there are some things that he was ahead of me You know, he'd done some things before me, definitely, you know. So it was a challenge in the beginning when, you know, I'd be excited over small things, or like at the wedding is an example of where I was so excited and all over the place, and I'm saying, oh, the colors of this flowers is pink. Him is like, get over with it, man. Can we just do this thing, you know? And I'm worried about, oh, so this dress is like, you know. But then after a while, you know, because we really talk a lot, I was able to be like, baby, why are you not excited? Why don't some things excite you? And I was like, okay, baby, you have to understand something, yeah? I've been there, I've done it. And it doesn't mean I'm not happy, I'm just not as excited as you. And so I think also by our open lines of communication, and also we agreed to seek a counselor, the help of a counselor, to sometimes come in between, yeah, so that we don't kill each other. I'm joking. So we were seeing a counselor, I think, every week.
Yeah.
The kids had their own session, and we had our own, each separately and then together. It helped us align so many things. I was able to see where he was in life and where I was, and why some things to him were not such of a big deal. It wasn't such, you know, it wasn't like the world is ending, you know. And so now I appreciate. And so we don't have those small fights anymore. Yeah. Because you learn to accommodate, you learn to appreciate where you are in life, you know. Yeah. So that gap will always be there.
Kathy is not, she's not your, she's not the typical girl next door, you know, she's not, she's more action oriented, yeah. You need to just look at what she does, how she does it, when she speaks. You know, her actions are what really speaks loudly, as opposed to maybe other initiatives where it's more just a lip service and stuff like that. So at times Kathy can come out to a casual observer like she's very cold, and you know, but her actions, you know, will prove it to you that where her heart is, you will see it. Yeah, for me, I guess maybe she can describe better, but I think for me, yeah, I think I do reach out. I try to reach out.
Yeah, he's very Mike is very expressive. His love language is expressive. He's not afraid to say it. He's not afraid to hold your hand in public. He'd want to kiss you in public. Just today we were fighting over it when we went for a walk in the morning. I'm like, do not touch me at junction. I'm like, don't touch me, you know. And he's that kind of person. I'm not. I'm very reserved, and I'm like she said. I don't say. I call it the L word. I'm not very good at hugging or saying those words, but my actions, and which was quite of a struggle when I came to the picture, because the children were used to that. The children are used to their dad hugging them every morning, kissing them goodnight. I'm like, you hugged in the morning, you're hugging in the evening again. Why?
No one is dying.
No one is dying. I say no one is dying, no one is dead. You know, and I remember the first time when we were just moving together and they used to have these puppies. And so one puppy died and they cried and they had a burial and they buried the puppy in the backyard, and I was like, what is wrong with this family? You know, I'm like, why are you crying about a puppy? You know, but then I just realized that's a love language. They grew up like that, like so that way. And now comes me, who comes from a place there was no hugging, there's no one telling you the L word, you know. So for me, it's more action. I'm action oriented. But also now I've learned, like my kids know, like when they're saying good night, they'll force to hug me, and I'm like, okay, good night, bye bye. You know, I'm trying, and I'm also trying to come out more, because that's the language they also understand. And I see like the teenagers like it more when your parents are more expressive. Yes, so that was the difference.
How we, you know, situations of dispute. I think one of the greatest things I learned from Kathy, much as she, you know, much younger than me, Kathy is not the type of lady who will go to bed angry at you're doing nil by mouth for 7 days and in the same house. Never. You cross Kathy's line, you deal with it on that day. Whether you like it or not, she'll force it. You'll have to sit and talk and get over with it. And once she's over it, she moves on with life and forgets. You know, I was one of those guys who maybe not carry, but it should not be. I'm quite happy to just pass over and just go on with life. She's like, it didn't work like that in my world. We sit, we deal, and then we move on. And I think that's how now we deal with issues. Yeah. The Kathy way.
Yeah, I guess, like you're saying, I'm always ready for the war. I'm always ready for the fight. I guess I've always appreciated early on in life that relationships, fighting is part of it. So for me, when you fight, is that something that will make me say, oh, I'm out? Or, no. I'm waiting. I'm expecting. It's going to come, because don't forget, it's two different people, but are different environments. You've met when you're grown-ups. So definitely, we will disagree. It's part of it. But also, I'm good at forgiving and forgetting. I'll say what I need to say. It's done and I've gone. And I always told Mike, you see, in our dynamics as a blended family, there's a lot. There's a lot of dynamics. There's a lot of undercurrent. There's a lot of emotions. If we keep it, we will not survive. So we have to be able to talk about it. We have to be able to say it, even if sometimes it's hard. So yeah, like our kids will always tell you, when we call them, they know, okay, we're talking. Because we do a lot of that. If we didn't do that, then I don't think we'd have dealt with most of the issues.
Never assume your partner. Never take them for granted. Because I think that's where many people go wrong. This person is here, they're not going anywhere, and therefore they become part of the furniture, in the house and so on. Never do that. You always give them their due attention. Go out of your way to show them that you appreciate them. Small things. As a man, bring those flowers home once in a while, let them know that you love them, dinner, on those special occasions, do something special, make sure you play your part to keep the fire burning, and most of all, work on the friendship. Because I think for Kathy and I, our rock is our friendship. That's really it. And I think that is what has kept us through, even through the really difficult times. Yeah.
I can say what has kept the fire burning. First of all, we're friends. We're very good friends, even with the age gap, which I think helps in this situation. We're very good friends. He's very expressive, which I'm very lucky as a woman, because I don't need to ask. Actually, he overdoes it, so it's me who's like toning him down. So I have no doubt in my mind, he'll send you those sweet messages, he'll come to the office, bring you coffee, I'm the one chasing him away, And for me, I think, I know the things he appreciates. Like, I know the foods he likes. So once in a while, I'll find time to cook it. Once in a while, I'll do things that he likes. He likes maybe a neck massage and things like that. I'll go out of my way to try and do that. What else? We enjoy simple things, a walk, do activities we like today in the morning, go for a walk, go for a jog. And in that walk we are talking, we're still maintaining that relationship. And also making a conscious effort. It's a conscious, you plan. Life is busy, it gets crazy. With children and responsibilities, I'll tell you the truth. That sometimes you're like, okay, we've neglected ourselves. So we're making a conscious effort. Next week, on this day, we are dressing up and going. So it's a conscious effort. And not taking that for granted. That's key.
Yeah, that's true. We have 6 kids, four boys, 2 girls. The eldest is a boy who originally is from South Sudan, came to Kenya as a refugee under difficult circumstances. Fast forward, ended up, he sat for his class 8, did very well, was stuck financially. We got into his life, and we discussed it. Kathy was open to bring him into the family, and now he's part of the family. And now, out. He's done his Form 4, did very well. He's out at the university. He's actually got a scholarship to Harvard, and that's where he is. Then we have Michelle, who is 20 and also in college, followed by Josiah, a young man who left us last year, followed by Joshua, who cleared his 11th grade and now figuring out what the next step is for him. And then the sister, who is in grade 11, shortly will be sitting for exams. And then, of course, the boss, Sean, who is 5. So it's a big family. Kathy always makes a joke. You say, we are too many. Every corner of the house you go, you find somebody. Yeah, but it's great. We enjoy each other's company.
In terms of raising the children, I've had to be very careful to ensure that everything is the same across board. Because if I don't do that, then some children will feel left out. So in this house, everyone is equal, everyone is the same. And even my house helps know that, my nannies know that. My son between me and Mike, our son, who's 5, has no clue about the difference. He has no idea. Yes, because everyone is treated the same. And I'm very conscious about it. Very. Because I know that is one of the key major things that blended families have issues with. So I'm very careful about it. And even people who walk in don't know. Even whenever you go out with people, they just say, oh, you have all these kids and you look this young. That's how the question comes up. And funny thing is, I think people say we look alike, but I always say like men don't always go for different things. Usually the same thing. Yeah. So yeah. So definitely he wouldn't have gone. So he's attracted to the same things. You know what I'm saying? If his idea of a beautiful girl is light, tall, this. So even the wife was not, I'm sure, was pretty and not so different. That's why we look alike. Yeah. Yeah.
I think blended families are not for people who are not committed. I think you need to understand what you're walking into and be committed. Because without that commitment, there are enough challenges to tear you apart. And one has to be really prepared emotionally, psychologically, and be committed to walking the talk and doing what it needs, what it takes to make it succeed. Remember, there are kids who are involved, and they're young, they're fragile, have emotions. So if you're not serious about a blended family situation, just stay away.
Don't try.
Yeah, because you'll end up hurting innocent parties like children. Yeah. Kathy's favorite color. Better get these right. I'd say white, off-white.
Really, I don't have a favorite color, by the way, so you've tried. But I like everything white and clean and pristine, so he's not so far off. Mike's favorite color is blue, navy blue. He's such a military guy. Yeah, nothing that screams. Yeah, blue, navy blue. Yeah, you can see. Yeah.
She's right about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, if Kathy was stranded and had to take just one thing,
my books.
That would be her makeup.
Really?
Or probably her books, but her makeup, which she'd like to check out in style.
If Mike was stuck in an island and would have to take one luxury item, I'll be sorry, forgive me viewers, he'd take his gun. If Mike won $1 million, his first instinct to secure our future, make sure the kids finish college and go to the universities they want, and set up a fund for our grandchildren.
I think she'll do exactly the same.
Do the same thing.
It will really go to the home front.
Yes, first.
To secure the future for ourselves and the kids.
If there's change, we'd go on a cruise ship. Yeah.